Y2K, the apocalypse, was supposed to happen just a couple months after I was born in 99. Some folks thought that once the clock struck 2000, all the computers were going to crash and blow up. I learned that watching Terminator 3 as a kid. Obviously, that never happened. 25 years later, I'm writing to you on a MacBook, talking to you through a camera. In 25 years, I've lived through 3 GTAs, 4 PlayStations. I've seen the birth and death of the iPod, as well as 17 iterations of the iPhone. One particular memory stands out from my youth. One day in the 6th grade, around 2012, my classmate came to the schoolyard with an iPhone 5. A bunch of us googly-eyed kids stared at it like it was the most fascinating thing in the world, like it was a piece of alien technology. I don't think we were so far off in our wonder, though. There was a time when smartphones, not just iPhones, felt like the most groundbreaking piece of technology ever, because they were. Smartphones broke barriers in human communication and entertainment. Smartphones put billions of possibilities into our pockets everywhere we went. But in a decade with self-driving cars, celebrities taking trips to outer space, and quantum computers, smartphones start to feel pretty ordinary. No matter how much this decade's tech outdates the previous decade, nothing that feels ordinary about the 21st century is ordinary whatsoever. We are simply becoming more and more accustomed to this science fiction. The weirdest thing, the strangest, and to me the most unnatural thing is virtual reality. I'm not talking about VR headsets and things like that. I'm talking about the fact that a portion of our lives, our resources, and our interactions with one another happen and exist in data sets of zeros and ones over wavelengths and blue screens. Just think about how many people are online right now. In 2024, there were about 5.5 billion users reported on the web. That's more than 2/3 of the global population talking, dating, shopping, learning, all in virtual space. That's weird. For the last 11,900 years of recorded civilization, beyond that, the same things we do online had been limited by physical space and mobility. I know we expected flying cars and emotional robots, but isn't being able to grab an electric box connected to invisible frequencies and video chatting with someone halfway across the world just as remarkable? Within the last 100 years, virtual reality has removed physical boundaries from our individual paths, creating a form of mass access to the world and the information in it. We can now know more things and interact with more people than our great grandparents ever could. I remember living in the Dominican Republic when I discovered the Big Bang Theory. It made me want to study physics immediately, but I had no one to teach me, and I was a 6th grader. I took the computer we brought from the US, stole my neighbor's Wi-Fi, and I hopped on Khan Academy for a few hours a week. Even in limited circumstances, I was able to find education for myself. On the contrary, though, porn, predators, and scammers were as available to me as that education. Virtual reality is beautiful, but it's dangerous too, in pretty casual ways. Instead of a war with machines, we got a war with social isolation, depression, anxiety, eye strain, poor posture, sleep deprivation, unemployment, and non-consensual data collection. The list goes on, and the consequences range from banal to catastrophic. Human bodies have developed arches in the necks and indents in the pinkies from the phone use. Social media, gambling, and porn are silent, rampant addictions. So much personal, private information exists online. People are getting bullied, frauded, and stalked every single day. Our problems in the 21st century are less about sentient AI and more whether we can adapt to living half of our lives virtually. Am I disappointed that no murderous time-traveling android is looking for a guy named John Connor? Nah. I'd rather deal with my mental health and adapt to a changing job market than deal with the fucking sci-fi apocalypse. This isn't to make light of the situation, though. Sci-fi disaster isn't that far off when Elon Musk is trying to put computer chips in our brains. And here's the thing about that. The richest guy on the planet wants to turn people into cyborgs. Who's going to stop him? At the rate we're going, we might just go along with it. iPhones and social media eventually became normal, right? AI is already becoming a part of our everyday lives, isn't it? As much as the billionaire inventor might be the thing to ruin us, we as consumers will also be culpable. Where are we going to draw the line as a society? How are we going to deal with the problems we got to deal with right now? I don't have answers. I just have questions. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments, even if you think I'm wilding out.
I wear my heart on the sleeve, but who doesn't? I'm in a generation where you just say fuck it. Love don't exist unless you out of school, pockets full of money, and you got no issues with your daddy or your mommy. But I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I thought about texting X a couple of times, thinking it would help. Just to remember, it was dopamine I felt at 5:53 or 6:23 in the morning, where we did most of our loving in your bedroom. To be honest, to the public.